My short film is called Fractured Fairytale and is based around the story of Cinderella. I've always found it strange how nobody has picked up on the fact of how dangerous it would be for a woman to wear a pair of shoes made of glass, and I thought this would make a good premise to build a story around. It features twin sisters, Daniela and Petronella, who live in Hollywood and who are both in love with the most eligible bachelor in Hollywood, who's called Dwight. Dwight invites the girls to his birthday party, and to the party the girls wear the latest couture creations, as well as shoes made of crystal. At the party, Dwight proposes to Daniela, which she readily accepts, and Petronella is genuinely pleased for her sister. On the way home, however, Petronella loses one of her glass shoes. The next morning, the girls are in bed having breakfast and discussing the evening before. They can't remember very many details of the party, but for the fact that Dwight proposed to Daniela and also that Petronella lost one of her shoes. Meanwhile, Dwight has arrived at the house and wants to ask Daniela's parents for Daniela's hand in marriage. The girls hear that he's arrived and are very excited, so they get themselves ready, and Daniela wears the remaining intact pair of glass shoes, and Petronella carries the final glass slipper on its own. As they're walking down the stairs, Daniela breaks a heel and falls and fatally injures herself on the staircase, and Petronella cradles her sister in her dying moments. And just as she's dying, Daniela whispers to Petronella that she should pretend to be Daniela and pass herself off so she can marry Dwight, and at least one of them will have a happy ending. The story I see as a mixture of fantasy and romantic drama. It's everybody's fantasy to live in Hollywood and marry a prince, and Daniela achieves this to an extent as she's about to marry Dwight. However, fate takes its hand. I also see it thematically as dealing with the pursuit of love and how Daniela and Petronella set out to marry Dwight with obvious catastrophic results. The film's climax deals with how we deal with death and the possibility of death, both as individuals, and that's seen with Daniela persuading Petronella to pass herself off as Daniela and marry Dwight, and during her final moments, and also how we deal with the death of others, and that's seen through Petronella comforting and holding Daniela as she dies on the staircase. Essentially, the film is dramatic, told through both past tense in the flashback to the party of the night before, as well as present tense when the girls are discussing the party over breakfast, and also during the dramatic climax on the death on the staircase. This could also include comedy, which would be introduced maybe through the conversation between Daniela and Petronella at breakfast the following morning. And also there could be tones of tragedy in the story, as seen in the death of Daniela at the end of the film. Fairy tales essentially have always been moral stories. They've always been trying to give a message. And I see that with audiences at the moment and the way situations we're living through, people need a boost and maybe something to give them inspiration and motivation, and a fairy tale told in a modern context with a twist could appeal to modern audiences. And if it's a success, you could follow this up with further fairy tales told in a similar way, given a modern setting and a modern twist, and to put over a message to current modern audiences.